Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a fun one that I'm very excited for. If you are on the bookternet anywhere, you've probably heard of this challenge before. It is swapping screen time for reading time. Now, we're going to go through my analytics, and they're going to seem quite alarming. It's important to note, for myself, mostly, I don't have any social media, don't have TikTok, don't have Instagram or anything like that. I have an Instagram account, but I don't have it on my phone, and I don't check it regularly. So the only apps that I'm really interacting with are games and YouTube and Twitch. The caveat to that is, I watch YouTube and Twitch like someone who watches TV. I have it on in the background every single day for hours on end. So it's not that I'm necessarily trying to get off my phone. I just want to read more, and I want to challenge myself to read more. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll take a look at what we're dealing with. Okay, so last week's average was 6 hours and 69 minutes for a total screen time of 42 hours and 46 minutes. That is insane. That is wild. That is a lot of time on my phone. Now, if you look at my overall most used apps, we have 15 hours and 54 minutes in YouTube and 6 hours and 35 minutes on Twitch. So like I said, I just watch a lot of stuff or have it on in the background on my phone. So I'm not a TV watcher. So I'm perfectly fine with the amount of time spent on these apps. Last Wednesday, I spent 4 hours and 40 minutes on my phone, and my most used app was YouTube, or 2 hours and 33 minutes. So that means today I would like to read for 4 hours and 40 minutes. I don't know if you can tell, but it is 4:36 now, and I still need to edit a video that I just filmed. So it's gonna be later on tonight when I can get to this. And also, my partner gets home at 7, and from 7 to 9, we hang out. So I really only have, maybe 2 hours to read, but I am hoping to get a little bit done once he goes to bed. The plan is, I'm going to edit this video, get it all good to go, get it scheduled, and then we're going to come back and read, and we'll talk about what I'm going to read and all that. So, I'll be back.
You lay easy on my mind, like a candle I just burn away. All we really have is time.
Good morning, friends. I did not read a single bit of that 4 hours. I started and read maybe 20 minutes, and then I had stuff to do, and then I fell asleep so early last night because I was so tired. So I didn't read once my partner went to sleep. But we're gonna roll for a new day. It's fine. We're gonna act like yesterday didn't happen. And we're gonna see how long I need to read today and if I can actually do it. So, okay, so Thursday, the 29th was 4 hours and 30 minutes. I feel like I can do that. I don't really have much going on today, and I genuinely mean that. I've pretty much done everything that I needed to do this week. I grocery shopped. I got 3 videos filmed and ready to post. So I feel like that's totally plausible. My partner works until later tonight, so I just feel like I can do it. We're gonna try to read for 4 hours and 30 minutes today. I'm gonna try to get a little bit read at work, and then we're gonna come home and really grind out some reading.
I don't wanna waste it on
Happy day 2 of this challenge, friends. If you hear the national anthem in the background, I promise I don't just play the national anthem in my house. We live a couple blocks over from a school, and they must be having some sort of event. So I actually did a decent chunk of my reading for the day while I was at work. I wanted to listen to an audiobook, and I wanted to start on a video that I'm doing in a couple weeks. I wanted to get a head start. So I actually started the Foxglove King, got 4 hours in at 2 times speed. That means that I have 2 and some change left, because I had already started the book a little bit whenever I started it this morning, but I think I have 2 hours and 20 minutes or something left. This is an interesting fantasy romance. I have read this author's other work, it is like the Red Riding Hood or whatever, I didn't really like it. I'm liking this marginally better. We open this story with Lore, and she lives in what I'm assuming is something along the lines of like Rome. There is talk of like catacombs and stuff, and it's a major city. She has death magic, and from what I gather of the backstory of this world, there was gods. I'm reading so many fantasy romances recently where like the central story starts from gods, but there was a goddess who was imprisoned by her other fellow gods, and she has death magic, and so when she was imprisoned, her death magic like basically left her body in like the radius of the city or something. The heroine has death magic in a way that most people don't have, like they don't naturally have. We don't know a lot of her backstory. We do know that she woke up when she was a toddler, like just in a graveyard with no memories of how she got there or like her parents or anything like that, at least that we know of. And she was brought in by this woman who ran like a criminal organization running poisons. Poisons are like a drug in this world. They can use you to get you closer to death, which grants you access to death magic, but it also like extends your life. She is a runner for her mother's organization. She gets caught by some guards after a failed run results in her using her death magic to get away. She wakes up in a church of people who are also able to access death magic through having brushed death, and she gets recruited by the church, not even recruited, basically blackmailed, to say that they will keep her alive if she agrees to work with them to use her death magic. I'm liking it so far. It's fine. I'm not really going to talk more about it. I'll be talking about it in that other video, but it's just interesting. So I probably won't read any more of that in this video. So that means that I need to spend the remainder of the 2 hours reading something else. And what I'm currently reading is When the Moon Hatched. I am 65 pages into When the Moon Hatched, which is 23%. This is a 700-page book. It's basically about a girl who lives in a world ruled by gods, or that once were ruled by gods. There's dragons and a plethora of magical things going on. She also was raised by a woman who saved her off the streets. She started working for a rebel organization that is trying to take down the king because he is corrupt. She has a pretty interesting power that we've kind of just learned about, and I'm really unsure what's happening. I believe she might have some sort of magical entity inside of her, and when that entity takes over, she doesn't have any memory. But we have just started, like, we just saw that happen. It's called like The Other or something like that. What triggered it is basically she found her friend murdered, and she was trying to hunt down the person that did it, and then this thing took over in a fit of anger, I guess. I don't know the backstory with the love interest. We've gotten one point of view from him. I believe he's the lost prince, but we don't really know too terribly much. That was just mentioned. And we've gotten one point of view that didn't really like say much about his character. I believe the heroine had a run-in with him in the beginning of the story, but this is a really long book, and we're still really just setting up the story for what it's going to be. So far, I am enjoying it. I have a feeling it's going to be a slow burn, which I personally love. So I'm going to spend the last 2 hours that I need to read for the day reading that, and then we'll come back and figure out how much we got to read tomorrow.
Take it with anybody.
This is completely unrelated to books in this reading thing, this reading challenge, but I started watching the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I've never watched a Real Housewife show before. I just looked up like where to start or whatever, and they said that Atlanta is really good, like a really good spinoff or whatever. And I'm obsessed. Like, I started from season 1, and I'm obsessed with like the early 2000s editing. It just like scratches an itch in my brain that is just so good.
it they used to say? Seeking you will find. There is nothing in you that is fading. All you ever do is shine.
Swear, we wear the rings, and he makes a cut on our arms, licks our blood so it's in him, and then he can control us however he wants. It's the blood.
I have 6 hours and 42 minutes of my, I think it was like 9 hours and 23 minutes that I had to read for today. I read for the majority of the time. I listened to the audiobook of Queen of Shadows. This is the 4th or 5th book in the Throne of Glass series. It's a reread for me. I love Queen of Shadows. It's so good. I think Queen of Shadows is the best book in the series. It doesn't suffer from a lot of pacing issues that Sarah J. Maas has. But I only have like 2 hours and 7 minutes left of the audiobook, and I for sure will be listening to more of it tonight, probably while I play video games or something. I was just listening to it while I played Sims and Subway Surfer. But I do kind of want to read for my Kindle now, and I got 35% of the way through When the Moon Hatched, but I want to read something else. I want to read something fun. When the Moon Hatched is good, but it's not exactly fun. So I got this romantasy called The Curse of Saints for my library. It's a book that's been on my radar for a while. I haven't heard anybody talk about it, but I just happened to see it either from Everand or my library or something like that. It is a YA. I want to give it a shot. I want to see how it is. It sounds like it's like they're traveling together, so like maybe one bed, that sort of tension. So I think I'm going to read that for a little bit. It is 514 pages. So again, another long one, but hopefully it's like fast-paced and fun, and I can just run through it. If not, I don't think I have any other library books that I want to read at the moment. I did get the Hurricane Wars, but I don't want to read 2 books for another video in this video. I'm doing like a romantasy based on the Goodreads winners, like the books that I haven't read video. Hurricane Wars and Foxglove King, which I talked about in the beginning of the video or a couple clips ago, are both for that video. And so I don't want to like go in depth and talk about them in this vlog, because like I don't want to rehash all of the shit that I'll be talking about in that other vlog. So I don't think I'm gonna try to read either of those. I did end up picking up I did end up picking up the first book in one of the new series of the authors of the Zodiac Academy. I stopped reading Zodiac Academy I think around the 4th or 5th book. I just didn't really love the like formula and what was going on in the series. I might at some point pick it up, but who knows. You know, never say never. I like periodically add it to my KU library and then just end up returning it. But so I got the first one of a new series. It's on Kindle Unlimited, and it's like a vampire situation, and it's 2 twins again. So if I'm like struggling to find something, I might pick that up because I know that their writing is very easy to get through. And so like even if I'm not having the best time, I'll probably have a good time, you know what I mean? So those are kind of some of the options, but for right now I'm going to pick up The Curse of Saints and see how that goes. I still have 6 hours and 42 minutes left, which is just nutty. But I made a deal with myself that if I get through 3 hours of reading, which will put me at 6 hours, I can watch an episode of Real Housewives. I said this in a previous clip, but I started watching Real Housewives of Atlanta from the beginning, from like the 2006, like when it originally started, and it's just so fun. The episodes they're like 40 minutes, but they really don't feel like 40 minutes, and my 2 favorite housewives are Nene. She's just so much drama, and so it's so fun, and then also I really like Lisa. I feel like Lisa is like the least dramatic of them all, so I'm enjoying it. So when I get to that 6 hour mark, I get to watch an episode of Real Housewives. I think I only have 1 or 2 episodes left of this season, and then we're going to season 2. If you watch Real Housewives and you think I should watch another, I know there's like Beverly Hills, I know there's Potomac, which I've considered watching because that's like near where I live. If you watch Real Housewives and you have a favorite season, let me know which one I should watch. I just heard Atlanta was like one of the really good ones, like a fan favorite. So yes, I'm gonna read for 42 more minutes and then watch my next episode of Real Housewives. And yeah, according to this, I will not finish reading for the day until, I don't know if you can see it, until 12:51 if I shut up and start going now, and don't pause. So that's not very reassuring considering I go to bed at like 9:30, 10 every night, even on the weekends. But yeah, so let me just shut up and get right to reading.
I don't wanna waste it on anybody. Take it with anybody but you. I don't wanna waste it on anybody. Make it with anybody but you. I don't wanna waste it on
I've never given much thought to how to
anybody.
die.
Happy Saturday, friends. Our time for the day was 7 hours and 49 minutes. I actually didn't end up completing the 9 hours yesterday. I think I ended up falling asleep with maybe like 3 hours left or something along those lines. I was doing the thing where you hold your Kindle and it like falls and you're just like this. Yeah, I kept doing that. I just could not stay awake. I started the Curse of Saints, that YA fantasy romance that I was talking about in one of my previous clips. Between last night and this morning, I've read for a little over an hour of the time. I got 169 pages, which is 35% of the way through. This is basically about Aya is the second in command to the queen of her kingdom. And this is a world ruled by gods, or at one point was ruled by gods. Again, another fantasy romance. I don't know why I'm getting all of the stories that are like that. They had people that had powers, and those people became too strong, and the gods cursed them with having only one ability of the gods. So like there's a wind god, a sun god, a light god, like being able to read people's minds, stuff like that, influencing people's moods. There was a group of people who were using those powers in a bad way, and so there was one god who basically took them all down, sacrificed herself and took them all down. That sacrifice cursed the people to only having one ability. There is a prophecy that those people are going to turn up again and try to like release darkness, and the prophecy says that one of their people will be born anew to stop this darkness. And in an effort to save her best friend from getting executed on the spot, our heroine Aya, she uses her powers, which are not the powers that she was given at birth, and so she is prophesied to be that returning born anew woman. And so she is getting sent with Will to talk to this kingdom to see where the traitors are coming from, but also she's getting sent to a library that's in that kingdom's territory that studies magic and the history and all of that, like archivist basically. And we also get a third point of view of the crown prince of that kingdom. I don't know if it's like a love triangle situation or something, but she's supposed to like get close to him romantically and he's supposed to get close to her romantically. So I don't know the setup for the whole story, but we just got there. We've just met the king and queen and all of that kingdom, the prince, and we're kind of getting settled into their kingdom. It's okay so far. It's pretty quick writing and I'm enjoying it. It's easy to get through. I wanted something that was a little bit easier to read than When the Moon Hatched, because When the Moon Hatched is quite flowery. It has a lot going on. It's very long, and there's just a lot of intricacies in the world that you have to really keep an eye on to kind of know what's happening. And this is definitely fitting the purpose that I wanted. I'm going to continue reading that for the rest of today. I still have 6 hours to go, so I'll be reading for the majority of the day. I will say that I'm really struggling to read. I thought I was someone that read a lot, and having to read 7-9 hours a day is just so much, especially because I know that I have a healthy relationship with reading. The reason that I'm doing this is kind of to challenge myself, and so the part of me that's like, I just want to watch Real Housewives is coming to the forefront, and I'm a little bit tired of this. Like, I want to read and I want to sink into a story and really love it, but the other part of me is like, yeah, I'm kind of tired of reading this. That's that. Tomorrow should be better. I think my time is only like a couple of hours. My partner and I are going to a local comic book store event. I should be able to read for those 2 hours. Outside of that, it shouldn't like be too much of a hindrance to my day, because it's only like 2 hours and some change. So I know that the following days, like Monday and Tuesday, are going to be back to being a little bit more rough. So I'm thankful for the break tomorrow. But yeah, definitely not loving these like read 6, 7, 8, 9 hours days. That's not fun.
Take off your robe and give it to the lady when on board. Do it now. No room for disobedience. So the lead listened, blushing at her own nakedness, trying to cover herself.
So it is 9 o'clock on Saturday, and I managed to finish my hours for the day. That is the second successful day of reading since I started this last Wednesday. And I have learned that this, not only is this video cursed, but I have zero interest in ever doing anything like this ever again. I'm not a fan of this, like forcing myself to read. It's just ruined all my desire to read. So I think after today, like, we're done. This is gonna be the end of the video. I read like maybe 50 more pages of Curse of Saints, and I decided to DNF it. It was a lot of her sitting in one spot and doing nothing and learning nothing, and it was boring. And then I bounced around from a bunch of different Kindle Unlimited fantasy romances and could not settle on one. So I decided to go back to When the Moon Hatched, and I actually got 331 pages in. And I was really enjoying it. We started to get a little bit with the romance, which was fun. And then I decided to do a little bit of work for YouTube, so I put on the audiobook for Queen of Shadows, which I only have 46 minutes left of. Overall, I don't really feel like I benefited at all from this reading challenge. I kind of did it to challenge myself to read more, and I didn't read any more than I probably would have, and it left me feeling upset with myself about the level of reading that I was doing, when honestly, like, expecting myself to do 9 hours of reading in one day is absolutely outrageous. So yeah, this is not something I'll be doing again. I might challenge myself to do like 200 pages a day or something along those lines, but never anything quite this intense again. It just ruined all fun for me, unfortunately. But I would love to know what you guys think down below. If you guys have done this challenge before, I would love to know. Did you do it successfully? What's your screen time look like? I would love to know that as well. I know my screen time is wild. Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to talk about books or really just anything down there. If you like videos like this, even though this wasn't a success, you should subscribe. I do book content, I do cozy vlogs, a bunch of different things. Really just sharing my life, my hobbies, all of that. My socials are linked down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next one.